It's Friday night. Say yeah for it is Strictly Sports. Hello, friends. Anthony Flair here with you for another edition of Strictly Sports, alongside good old MF Michael Fletcher. Michael Bullock, I don't know where he is. I'm not waiting for him. I want to get right into this show because it's a very exciting show this time around. You remember last week we had all that, a lot of hard time nonsense stories. Well, not tonight because this is all about March Madness as it should be, the NCAA tournament, and MF and I we're gonna run it down. And if Bullock gets here, then we'll just simply catch him up. That's all, like we usually do. So no need to wait for him. So let's dive right on. And I'm sure he would have wanted us to go on anyway. So okay, let's run down what we have seen so far. We're not gonna talk about the playing games because they're the playing games. So we're gonna run down all the action from yesterday and today so far. But before we do that, we have a very interesting development here. The number one overall seed, Virginia, currently up against number 16 seed, University of Maryland, Baltimore County. Halftime score tied at 21. Whoa. Okay. A little bit of panic and worry here. God forbid if UMBC does the unthinkable, brackets busted everywhere. All of us in our, well, 4 out of 5 of us in our Strictly Sports bracket manager group managed to get 5. That's a solid number, not bad at all. 4 out of the 5 of us picked Virginia to win. I picked Virginia to go all the way. MF picked Virginia to go all the way. Bullock picked Virginia to go all the way. And our good friend Jimmy Alden picked Virginia to go all the way. The only one who went against us was Matt Ward, and he picked Ohio State to win it all. Stranger things have happened. Well, you never know. But for goodness gracious, if UMBC does the unthinkable and pulls this thing off, that's the biggest bracket buster in captivity. That's all there is to say about that.
I mean, I don't think nobody has a 16 over a 1. Anybody who has a 16 over a 1, you're just lying to yourselves. If that, and like you said, it's the number 1 overall seed. It's Virginia. If they go down, oh my God, the ramifications is devastating.
Big time.
Yeah.
And Matt Ward needs one more Ohio State victory tomorrow, and he can move on, and Matt Ward could pretty much run away with this thing.
Yeah.
Ward would have an easy win. But let's keep this in mind. It's still early.
Well, it's only halftime. Yeah, absolutely. But we're definitely going to have to monitor it. And if you're Virginia, you got to get a. I hope that coach I hope the coach of Virginia right now is giving his boys a swift kick into you know what, waking them up.
I would. Oh, you
for all you. Yeah, well, I was going to say for all you marks out there, if you want to watch the game's right now being shown nationally on TNT right now. So, but don't leave our show just yet. We'll keep you guys up to date, and maybe Florio and I does some play-by-play where it is from his city. So
that is true.
We'll see.
Yes. Only time will tell. But I mean, if I was the coach of Virginia, Tony Bennett, I mean, you wouldn't want to see what I would have done. Ooh. With the soldier up warrior spirit that I've had lately, you wouldn't want to see me. That's all I can say. So I'd be giving them the soldier speech and everything else. So all right, let's run down the action that we've seen so far in this tournament. Yesterday, our local team, the University of Rhode Island, what a game against Oklahoma. It was a buddy bowl. Dede Woodson, Kevin Woodson and family representing Oklahoma, myself, MF and Bullock, and all of us here representing URI. and URI pulled it out 83-78 in overtime. MF, I mean, this was the game that set it off for you. And well, let's just say we didn't waste any time getting another chapter to the screaming Michael Fletcher legacy when it comes to the tournament.
I mean, what a game it was. It was so exciting. It came down to the wire. URI almost won it in regulation. It looked like they got a tip in. It was right there. Next thing you know, it goes off the iron. I remember screaming out, "Oh my God, how does that not go in? We're going to overtime in Pittsburgh." Oh my goodness. Yeah, it was an amazing game, but I'm going to say it was really a tale of two halves. I got to say that you got to give a lot of credit to Trae Young, man, because he had an unbelievable game. 28 points, 5 rebounds, 8 assists in the game. Absolutely phenomenal talent. He's going to be unbelievable when he goes into the NBA. The biggest problem or the biggest factor of the loss or the biggest factor in the game, especially once we got towards the end, it was really more on URI's case. It was the 3-point bombs. They were draining threes from beyond the arc. They were 11 of 29 from 3-point range, but they were like 5. I think they were like 5 of 9 in the second half, and especially in overtime. That's how they really broke out. They got into a big lead. Then Oklahoma came right back. But clutch play down the mark, and on top of that, some really good defense by URI was the reason why they won this game. Derek Ferrer said it. It was a 5-star classic, an unbelievable game, and give credit where credit is due to URI, man, because they earned that victory. I know a lot of people believe that maybe you can make an argument that that Oklahoma probably did not deserve to be in the tournament, but after that performance last night, or after the performance yesterday afternoon in that first game in Pittsburgh, man, they were trying to silence the naysayers, and they almost did. So hats off to Oklahoma for an incredible game, and hats off to URI for a huge win. But the next game that they're going to have, and we'll talk about the team in a little bit, they're going to have to do a lot better than they did against Oklahoma, because, boy, that other team, man, they were clicking on all cylinders yesterday. Anthony, it's all yours.
All right. Moving on with the scores from yesterday. Tennessee, number 3 seed. They had an easy time with number 14 seed Wright State, 73-47. Number 4 seed Gonzaga survives a scare and a half from UNC Greensboro. They win that 68-64. A 3-pointer late by Gonzaga by a redshirt freshman survived Gonzaga, the national runners-up from a year ago. Kansas, number 1 seed, going up against number 16 seed Penn, and Penn had them on the ropes early. But then from there, Kansas turned on the burners, and Kansas got it done, 76-60. All right, MF. The other, we now know who URI would be facing in the next round, and it was the dream. It's the dream matchup that we wanted. We talked about it on our selection show on Sunday night. We wanted it, and we're gonna get it. Number 2 seed Duke, easy time over Iona, 89-67. MF, I mean, you said it yourself. Duke was on fire. I mean, you should know. Wow.
54% from the field, 13 of 30 from 3-point range. That's 43%. They were dominant. They out-rebounded Iona 39-29. Offensive rebound 14-10. They absolutely throttled them really early in this game, and it was almost a tale of two halves, because even at the very beginning, Iona was really playing a very smart game. They were really trying to stretch Duke out, but the minute Duke started bombing threes, and that's the one thing Duke has been notorious for, living and dying by the 3-point bomb. And the thing is, this time around, they were nailing their 3-point shots. They were dominating in the level of play. And when it was all said and done, the Duke Blue Devils walked away with an easy victory. So much so that they actually rested their starters literally towards the end of the game with like about 3 minutes left. All their starters came out of the game. So a lot of people think that Duke definitely has a major advantage going into that game against URI on Saturday because of the fact that Duke is a little more well-rested. They basically dominated on both sides of the ball, and URI really had to grind it out and really had to fight for their lives towards the end. So a lot of people are kind of picking Duke to beat URI tomorrow, but we'll wait and see what happens. But yeah, Duke was definitely unbelievable, dominating performance. Nothing bad to say about it. And Anthony, it's all yours.
And then we had our first upset of the tournament. Number 11 seed Loyola of Chicago with a 3 at the buzzer to defeat the U 64-62. First tournament appearance since 1985, and they made it count and then some, defeating the U 64-62. Matt Ward, the team that Matt Ward picked to win it all, Ohio State. They had a tough time with South Dakota State. I knew South Dakota State was going to give them a rough time, but Ohio State eventually pulled away 81-73. Seton Hall with a nice win over NC State, 94-83. Big East over the ACC. That makes me a very happy man because you know how much I love the Big East. I know that stinks for MF because we all know how much he loves the ACC. Yeah, how'd that one work out for you, MF? Not so good. Big East powered that one out. Speaking of number 1 seeds and speaking of Big East, Villanova, MF, I mean, easy win over Radford. I mean, 87-61. Nova was Nova. That's all there was to say about that. So you should know about that.
Very impressive performance, no doubt about it. Nova definitely was, and if you really think about it, they kind of were a little shaky. I want to say in the first 10 minutes of the game, it was a little shaky, but then Nova started to pick up the pace, pick up the pressure, and when they started doing that, that was it. It was game over. Nova definitely looks like one of the favorites to win the national championship. A lot of people think that they had a really cupcake, easy walk in their bracket going through. They definitely have set the table very high for a lot of the other teams, and they definitely, great performance in their first round matchup. Radford, I gotta give credit where credit's due. Radford tried to make a game out of it. They just couldn't hang because Nova was just absolutely dominating. Anthony, you know that better than anybody else. You got to see Nova during the Big East tournament when they won it all. So, I mean, definitely tremendous performance by Villanova today. Or I should say yesterday.
All right, let's see. There was a 12-5 upset MF tried to call. I believe you had Davidson knocking off Kentucky. Yeah, that didn't work.
No, I actually had Kentucky winning.
Oh, you had Kentucky winning.
I had Kentucky. I didn't call no 12-5s this year. I said that if there was a 12-5 upset possible, this was going to be the one. But I did not officially call it.
Okay. Kentucky survived Davidson 78-73. What a game between San Diego State and Houston. Houston picking up the win there, 67-65. Texas Tech, the 3 seed over number 14, Stephen F. Austin, 70-60. And the final game of the night in Pittsburgh, MF, you had a great one. Alabama and Virginia Tech. Alabama, the 9, knocking off the 8. Virginia Tech, 86-83. 2 words for you, MF. You got to see him up close and personal. Colin Sexton. Is that young man a beast or what?
25 points, 6 assists, 3 rebounds. I mean, he is a stud. And you know what? Sometimes the unsung heroes are going to be the big factors in the NCAA tournament. And yeah, Colin Sexton was unbelievable. I don't know. That's going to be a tough game, though. Colin Sexton and Alabama versus Villanova tomorrow afternoon. As a matter of fact, the first game out. That's the first game of tomorrow's schedule at 12:15. I believe it's a 12 o'clock tip-off, and it will be Alabama and Villanova jumping us off. And then right behind that in Pittsburgh is URI and Duke. I mean, two great matches, and I can't wait to go deeper into it in just a little while. So this is going to be a great matchup, no doubt about it. And I think that's it for the for yesterday's action. So now we're going to break down today's, I believe.
Well, actually, 3 more scores we need to address.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yep.
The upset of the tournament at this point, number 13 seed Buffalo. What did they do to Arizona? Whoa. 89-68. Buffalo beats Arizona. Are you sure it wasn't the other way around? My goodness, Buffalo. And then number 6 seed Florida knocking off St. Bonaventure 77-62. And then number 3 seed Michigan with an easy win over Montana 61-47. And now we're going to move on to the action of today. But we have some major breaking news. I am not kidding you when I say this. UMBC is pulling away. We are on the verge of history, ladies and gentlemen. 35-24 UMBC 1552 MF. I think our brackets are about to get busted in the biggest way possible.
Oh my goodness. I'm watching the game right now on TNT in high definition. I am not believing what is going on. You know what? They just talked about the near escapes of a number 1 seed. This is 4 times where a number 1 seed has ever been put on the ropes like this. We've never, ever, ever had a 16 knockoff of 1. It's happened in the women's college basketball where a 16 has knocked off a 1, but we've never had it in the men's game.
Never.
We might be on the verge of that, and if it happens, it's the number 1 overall seed. This is the equivalent of a 64 knocking off a 1. This is gonna, if this happens,
biggest upset ever.
It's the biggest win in college basketball history. It's the biggest upset in college basketball history. But there's still a lot of time for Virginia to get back.
It's 38-24 now.
Well, 38-26. There's an and 1 that just happened.
Counting in the foul. That's what I would say.
Yep.
So, of course, we do that differently. I say counted in the foul, whereas MF Channels is in Marv Albert and says yes, and it counts. So, okay. But with all that being said, let's move on. First game of the day. No joy in Mudville if you're a PC Friars fan. Texas A&M, they defeat PC 73-69. I mean, man alive, what a game this ended up being. Rodney Bullock leading all scorers with 22. Diallo chipped in 21. And, I mean, Alpha Diallo, what a game he had. 21 for him. Go along with 7 rebounds. Kieran Cartwright, 11 points with 9 assists. Great game from him. It was Tyler Davis. Tyler Davis, 14 points and 15 rebounds. Robert Williams, 13 points and 14 rebounds. I mean, those were the 2 young men who pretty much those 2 double-doubles really did it in. And TJ Starks with 15 and 8 assists. A&M shooting 50% from the field. PC shot 43.5%. The three-point shooting, 37.5% for Texas A&M, 30% for PC. The free throw shooting, that went to PC, 75% to 57.7. Rebounding edge, that was all A&M, 44-26. I think that was a huge difference maker. PC more assists, 17-13. And PC only committed 6 turnovers, and they still lost. And A&M committed 14. 5 steals for PC, 2 for A&M. A&M had Well, here's another difference maker: 8 block shots, 8 blocks for A&M, none for PC, and A&M stayed out of foul trouble. I mean, they only committed 13 total personal fouls as a team, whereas PC committed 23. So it ruined what would have been another dream matchup. I mean, we were hoping to see Providence go up against North Carolina. Unfortunately, we don't get that. I mean, hey, at least we got URI and Duke, though. I mean, that's going to be a lot of fun, and lucky UMF. So, all right. So Texas A&M wins that one, 73-69. That was a 7-10 matchup, by the way. Number 2 seed Purdue, no trouble with 15. Cal State Fullerton, 74-48. Another major upset went down. The number 13 seed Marshall, the Thundering Herd, first tournament appearance for them since 1987, and they made the most of it. 31 years they had to wait. Wait no longer. They knocked off number 4 Wichita State, 81-75. Number 2 seed Cincinnati had a bit of a time with number 15 Georgia State, but Cincinnati pulled away. They got the win, 68-53. My second game, number 2 seed North Carolina, as expected. No trouble with Lipscomb. They knocked them off 84-66. Leading the way for Carolina was Kenny Williams with 18. Theo Pinson, 15 and 10. What a game for Pinson. 15 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists. He played a phenomenal game. Joel Berry, the second, 14 with 3 assists and 2 rebounds. Luke May, 10 and 9. Sterling Manley, 6 points, 10 rebounds. Great performance from him. Leading the way for Lipscomb was Kenny Cooper. He had 14. Rob Marbury with 13. And those were the only 2 in double figures. Carolina shot nearly 52% from the field, whereas Lipscomb was about 36. 3-point shooting, about 41% for Carolina to 25 for Lipscomb. The free throw shooting, that went to Lipscomb, actually, 86.7 to 72.2. Let's see here. Rebounding, that was all Carolina, 47-29. The assists, 19-14, Carolina. Turnovers, Lipscomb only committed 13 turnovers. Carolina committed 18. 9-8, the steal advantage for Lipscomb. They actually had that department. Block shots, each team had 2. And foul trouble, about 17 fouls for Carolina, 18 for Lipscomb. But nonetheless, North Carolina doing what they were supposed to do. And so North Carolina with the win there. All right, let's see. Number 10 seed, Butler. Sorry, State of Sorrel. One and done for your boys, I'm sorry to say. No Woo Pig Sui tonight. As Butler put a whooping on them, 79-62. Number 5 seed, West Virginia, knocking off 12 seed Murray State, 85-68. Game of the day so far. You got to give it up for Texas and Nevada. What a game this turned out to be. Nevada winning it 87-83 in overtime. I believe I got that head-to-head. I believe I picked Nevada. I believe MF picked Texas to win that one. So that's a head-to-head for me. Third game of the day on my end, Kansas State with a 69-59 win over Creighton. That was a 9-8 matchup. Kansas State the 9, Creighton the 8. Kansas State, they were clicking on all cylinders. Barry Brown Jr. led the way with 18. Mike McGurl had 17. And Camus Stokes had 11. All-around team effort. 46% from the field. 47.4% from the 3 line. 56% from free throws. And Creighton was off. I mean, they're only 34% from the field, 26.5% from 3, 80% from the line, and they only, let's see here, the rebounding edge that went to Creighton. Creighton actually had the rebounding edge, 45-35. Assists went to, well, actually they both had 12 assists apiece. Turnovers, Creighton committed 13, K-State committed 11. steals. Each team had 6. Kansas State had the block edge 5-3. K-State stayed out of foul trouble, only committing 11 fouls. Creighton committed 21. Major difference there. So McGurl hit a 3 at the buzzer at the half. As the half expired, he hit a 3, and it was just seconds after Creighton had hit a 3. They cut it to 29-26, and then once McGurl hit that 3 to make it 32-26, I knew that was going to lead to big momentum for Kansas State, and I'm not surprised that it did. So K-State getting it done there. So 69-59, Kansas State knocking off Creighton. And then from there, Michigan State and Bucknell. Michigan State winning 82-78. This is something I don't often do, but I'm going to do this anyway. I have to give a big shout out to Bucknell. I gotta call Bucknell, to me, gave what I consider a soldier up performance in defeat. Now, I know Michigan State was projected to win. I get that, and they were, and I'm not surprised they did. But the way Bucknell, I mean, when you're down big late, most teams would phone it in. Bucknell did not phone it in. The way Bucknell fought and fought and fought to the end, that made me so proud. Tonight, MF put me on the record for this. I just gained a newfound respect for Bucknell. Way to soldier up and fight till the very end. You may have lost, but damn it to hell, you look damn good in defeat. My hat's off to you, Bucknell. Mile high salute for you boys. Way to fight till the very end. They closed the game on a 19-7 run. Yeah, they may have lost, but Bucknell, in the immortal words of the late great Chief Lynn Thigpen from Carmen Sandiego, I salute you. Well done, young men.
And to think about it, Anthony, and I'm gonna say this, they only lost by 4. You give them, if you give Bucknell maybe a couple of more minutes, maybe they turn that and pull the upset. So I mean, Michigan State's very fortunate that they won the game. However, I'm gonna say this: if Bucknell would have had at least 2-3 more minutes on that clock,
they would have won.
I think we'd be talking about a massive upset here, at least in day 2. But right now, we got ourselves a mega upset that's right now on the works. But we're not to that point yet where we can start doing some. Yeah, we're not at the point of pushing panic, but we might be getting there pretty soon. I'm just saying. But let's move on with all the.
And we have 2 more scores to report that are final. Speaking of scares, Lindsey McCormick's Auburn Tigers. Oh boy, did they survive a scare! Another 13-4 here. I mean, we almost had 3 13-4s here. But Auburn stopped the bleeding, 62-58. However, there was some controversy in this one. Charleston, Willard, I believe, was the young man's name. He went for a 3. It looked like he was fouled. They did not call it. They should have called it. He should have gone to the line for 3. That easily could have tied it up. But I'm sorry, Charleston was robbed. That's all I can say about that.
I agree.
Charleston should have won that game, if I'm going to be real honest with you. We should have had 3 13-4s, in my opinion. But Auburn, you should consider yourself lucky and fortunate. That's all I can say on that. And finally,
and I actually got a chance to see it on the replay a short while ago because I have the NCAA app. So while I'm working, I could actually go on during my breaks, and they gave me the game highlights from that matchup. And yeah, I absolutely am with you, Anthony. That definitely was a foul behind the 3-point arc. That should have been called. You hate to see the referees have to be involved, especially that close to the end of the game. You hate to see that happen. But my heart breaks for Bucknell. They definitely got robbed. My heart breaks for Charleston, I should say. I'm sorry, because you had me thinking about Bucknell from the last game. But you know, it is what it is. I hate that happened to them. But I wish them nothing but the best. You know, they definitely are a great team. They had a tremendous season, and I hope that we'll get to see them again next year for the playing in the NCAA tournament.
Absolutely. And the final score, Xavier flexing their muscle. 102-83 over Texas Southern. My goodness. We usually don't go in detail here, but I have to go into detail here for Xavier. I mean, 54.7% from the field, 46% from three, 11 out of 24. Okay, the free throws, 65.6%. So what? But other than that, 42 total rebounds to only 31 for the opposition. They had 19 assists to 12. They only committed 13 turnovers. The fouls, that is a big concern. They committed 22 of those. And 10 block shots as a team, including 3 for Najee Marshall. 10-3, the block discrepancy. Texas Southern actually did have more steals. So Texas Southern had 10 steals to 6 for Xavier, but Xavier, though, shooting just about 50, just north of 55% from the field, just north of 46% from 3, and JP Marquiera with, three different players scored 20 or more. Marquiera had 29, Trevon Blewett had 26, and Karon Cantor had 24. Unbelievable performance from Xavier. It was 49-37 in the first half, 53-46 in the second, 102-83, the win for Xavier as they advance to the next round as was expected. So
and if you remember, Anthony, and just to make a quick little observation, a lot of people were wondering, did Xavier deserve a number 1 seed, especially going into the tournament? You know, they did flame out in the Big East tournament, they're losing to Providence, and a lot of people were wondering, you know, were they worthy of a number 1 seed? And I guess they've made the committee look like a bunch of geniuses here, that yes, they were worthy enough of a number 1 seed with the way that they played today. So yeah, no doubt about it. This was a great performance, to say the very least, and they deserved to win that game.
50-34 UMBC on Virginia. 8:31 to go. We are 8.5 minutes away from the biggest upset in the history of March Madness, folks. The mother of all bracket busters. Oh my goodness. MF, myself, Jimmy Alden, and Michael Bullock are about to have major egg on our face. And Matt Ward is probably going to cruise to an easy victory in our bracket manager.
Yeah, because if you know the rules of the bracket manager, as long as your national championship contender is still alive in the game, you're allowed to make switches or changes in your bracket. But once your national championship contender is out, you're out. So, and as a matter of fact, Anthony, just to give you a quicker update, it's actually 52-40 now, with 7 minutes and 12 seconds left. However, it looks like UMBC is definitely, Virginia hit a couple of threes. They're going to have to start making some defensive stops here. But right now, UMBC, they got the clock and the ball when they come back. They just called a timeout on the floor. So, I mean, oh my goodness.
Derek Ferreira has just messaged me. He says he wants us to cover this game. So I'm thinking that means only one thing. I'm thinking that means possible live commentary here. So, yep. He has just confirmed Derek Ferreira has asked us to do live commentary for this matchup. So just give us a moment. And
yeah, we're currently we are on a timeout. There's a TV timeout. I think this is the under 8-minute timeout that they're doing right now. So once we get back into the game, we will we're gonna go live for the first time tonight. We're going live to Charlotte.
And it's
Hello. It's yours.
Yes, indeed. So, all right, but before we do that, we do have some other scores to get acclimated with here. Um, Number 9 seed Florida State with a 25-16 lead on Missouri with 8.5 to go in the first. Number 6 seed TCU and number 11 Syracuse. TCU with a 30-27. Well, actually, it's a 32-29 lead, just underway in the second half. And number 5 seed Clemson with a 44-32 lead over number 12 seed New Mexico State. That is at the half. But the game right now is UMBC and Virginia. Right now, 52-40 in favor of UMBC. 7:12 to go. And Derek just messaged me saying, "We want history tonight." Oh yeah, it would be history.
I think I've alluded to it before. There's only 3 other times where a 16 has pushed the one to the ropes. However, they never were able to pull it off. And as a matter of fact, one of the near upsets was right here in our own backyard in Providence, Rhode Island. This was, I believe, in 1990, where, huh?
It was 89. Are you thinking about the Georgetown?
It was 1989. Yeah, it was Georgetown. And they got pushed to the brink by Princeton. And Princeton almost did the impossible and knocked off Georgetown. Georgetown only surviving a 1-point victory to win their first round matchup. And like I said, I remember I think one of the passes they said was Michigan State was almost upsetted. There's been at least 3 or 4 nigger scares where a number 1 almost fell to a number 16. But I'll tell you this, without a doubt, this is the most scariest there's ever been. And now we're about to do live action. And Anthony, I'm going to toss it to you in just a moment. But yeah, this is the closest I've ever remember a 16 knocking off a 1.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Michael Bullock has just joined us. Michael Bullock, we could be on the verge of the biggest bracket bust of all time. Virginia is on the road.
Yeah, and who did you guys pick to win it all?
Virginia.
Yeah, and if that's the case, then we're busted. We're done.
Yeah.
And Jimmy Alden too.
The only person who actually survives is Matt Ward. And Matthew Ward is probably saying, UMBC, finish the job. Please finish this. I could actually win the bracket manager for the first time ever.
And then Matt, the other 2-time defending champion. He won the last 2
Yeah.
years.
Dude, how embarrassing could this be? A flame out in the first round? God, I'd be so pissed. And it's
gosh,
and we'd be
both
2 days into the tournament and we'd be gone. Yeah, it's gone.
How embarrassing. What a disgrace. I mean, who knows? We may have inspired countless others to go with Virginia to win it all too.
Yeah.
Think about it. Even though we only had 5 views for our selection show the other night.
Yeah. So. Yeah, and the thing is, guys, me and my dad are in a tournament pool, and I'm not the only one that picked Virginia to go to win it all. My father did as well.
Oh, wow. Oh my goodness.
I've known Jim a long time, and oh boy, Papa Jim's going to be, I don't know how he's going to feel about this. So,
probably like, you idiots.
If this happens, I'm going to channel my inner Michael Cole by simply saying, you got to be kidding me. You gotta be
kidding me.
Well, it could. I mean, they're 5 minutes and 50 seconds away from pulling it. So I mean, and they're up by 14. They're like, the miracle has to start now.
And Derek,
yeah, you can't waste any more time. You need to start now.
Yeah, Derek. But I do have to share what Derek just said.
Yep.
Number 1 Virginia is in serious jeopardy of being upset by UMBC, which closed as a 20.5-point underdog. It would be the second biggest upset by point spread since 1985. So
I think the biggest one was, I believe, if I remember correctly, the national championship. Villanova knocking off
Georgetown.
I think Georgetown was a heavy favorite in the national title game. I believe that is the where Ferrero was going with that.
Well, I'm gonna look into that in just a minute, but
And we got the A team, of course, doing that game.
yes, I know,
Yeah.
and it's also my end if you think about it. So
Yeah, Jim Nance.
Oh
Bill
my
Raftery, and Grant Hill.
goodness!
biggest. I'm trying to find it.
Virginia was thinking that was a travel, but nope.
Actually,
Boy,
it was.
Time is now the enemy for Virginia. Oh, another basket by UMBC.
They got it. This is unbelievable. Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
It's gonna happen, folks. It is gonna
Yeah.
happen.
It's definitely. It's looking like it.
And has this ever happened in the history of the NCAA tournament?
No.
No.
So history would be made.
Yeah. Actually, I was going to say the only time a 16 is knocked off a 1, and Anthony and I were just talking about it a short while ago, you have to go all the way back to the women's college basketball game. And that's only happened once in sports, where a 1 lost to a 16. It's never, ever, ever happened. This is the first time ever in college basketball, in men's college basketball, in Division I college basketball, where 16 is very much on the verge of doing the unthinkable.
It was back.
And therefore,
yep. It was back in 1998 when Harvard knocked off Stanford 71-67 on. It was either on March the 13th or March the 14th of 1998.
And
so
everybody remembers. Years. And everybody remembers Stanford at the time. Stanford women's basketball was really one of the hottest teams, one of the really good programs in women's college basketball at the time. Absolutely. Because they were a really good team. They were really, they were really focused. They were like a part of that elite. I want to say a part of that elite group, which was, they were part of that elite group that was, when we were talking about with the UConn, Tennessee's, like back then, Stanford was one of those elite squads. So when that upset happened, when that,
I'm sorry, guys. I'm just watching this.
Yeah. So I was gonna say, and when that happened, it was one of the biggest stunners, whatever you want to call it. It was an upset in itself, but now, I mean,
and the thing is, guys, I mean, up to this point, the biggest upset in the tournament, which is what occurred last night with Buffalo beating Arizona, and that was not even close.
Yeah,
absolutely. And right behind that was Marshall beating Wichita State. But of course, Buffalo beating Arizona, when you think about the pedigree and the legacy of Arizona,
yeah,
it's got to be making poor Lute Olson roll over right now, if you know what I mean. So,
and the thing is about the Arizona upset is that Buffalo, we were saying, how do you beat a team like Buffalo? How does that happen? The thing was, they had to play the perfect game, and they did. They hit the threes. Their defense was on point. They absolutely played what I believe was one of the best games of the season. They literally deserved to win that game yesterday. Buffalo dominated. Even I had a brief chat with Jason Hissenbach. I think you guys saw that on Facebook, and we were talking about the way how Buffalo dominated in that game, and we were taught, and I preached about it, about the 3-point shooting and how stellar their defense was. They were playing unbelievable play-by-play, offensively, defensively. They just knew how to win. They just won without a doubt, best game of the season. They won it. They deserved it. I mean, there's nothing more to say.
Biggest point spread upset in tournament history was not Villanova and Georgetown in '85. It was actually Norfolk State when they upset Missouri in 2012. Norfolk State was a 15, Missouri was a 2, and Missouri was a 21.5-point favorite. So it actually went to Norfolk State. I don't know what the spread was for Nova and Georgetown in '85, but 21.5.
I could probably get that. Just give me a minute. I could probably get that for you.
Yeah.
And could you imagine the fan base in Virginia if this turns out? They probably had that look like that guy at WrestleMania 30 was when the Undertaker's undefeated streak was broken.
Cue that meme, no doubt about it. Cue that meme, no doubt.
Or the Paul Heyman meme saying, "My clients, UMBC, was the one to defeat the #1 overall seed Virginia Cavaliers."
Yes, indeed. So
yep, they could.
And we are on the verge of something really, really special here. I mean, what a way to go out. I mean, to be one and done. It's 58-44, 3:52 remaining. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on the verge of major history right here and right now. And they are jubilant.
Oh my goodness.
This is a 3. It is 61-44. 3:29 to go. Ladies and gentlemen, the brackets are busted. The brackets.
You know that sound that you hear with the shredder?
Yeah.
That's probably all those people with those brackets now.
And to think about it,
shredder.
And to think about it, going into this, ESPN has said that they had 17.3 million brackets created this year. For CBS, they did 10.5 million brackets. I think
that number's going to go way down.
Single bracket is broke. And going into it, ESPN had actually reported that after the upset yesterday with Arizona losing, that there was only 5,000 brackets that were still perfect. And with CBS, they said that out of 10.5 million, they said only 500 was still alive. That there was only 500, I think they said like 535 people still had a perfect bracket out of 10 million people.
Well,
imagine
that number's going way down.
I don't.
3. The University of Maryland, Baltimore County, out of the America East. You thought them upsetting Vermont?
Man.
Vermont, as we all know, Vermont, the class of the America East Conference. This is nothing.
They
Watch
are
about
about.
So let's see what Virginia can do.
Listen, Anthony, they are about to take down.
That's off the mark. Rebound UMBC. Oh, Virginia. Okay, Virginia puts it home. So they're within 15 now. About 3 minutes to go.
Oh,
UMBC
man.
driving up now.
Man, these shots are just not falling.
It looks like they're playing keep away with it now.
Yep.
They might be sensing victory here, gentlemen.
And that was a very smart move. You didn't need the 3. All you just need to do is just kill the clock. You are doing the right thing. bleed the clock. The clock is your friend. Bleed it to 0, and you got yourself the biggest upset in college basketball history.
And the thing is, for UMBC, they had to play out of their minds to win this. And they are exactly doing that right now.
And to think, Virginia is the regular season ACC champion. They won the ACC tournament. They are the #1 overall seed, and in many people's mind, the perennial favorite to win the national championship. This is David, the ultimate David knocking off Goliath if this happens, and they're about 2.5 minutes away from winning the game.
Then all those accomplishments that Virginia did this season isn't going to mean anything.
They're a failure.
Oh no,
they're a failure.
They are gonna be the ultimate footnote in this NCAA tournament. They are gonna be a Jeopardy question forever if this holds and this happens.
And it looks like it's going to. I mean, unless something really out of the ordinary happens. I mean,
we are about to see history in the making.
Go at the line now.
And you can see that bench for UMBC.
48. 2.5 minutes.
That bench is excited. They are jacked up. And they should be.
65-48. You don't want to miss this, folks. This is a time where call your friends, call your neighbors. 3-pointer on the way, off the mark.
And this is going to be talked around.
And they are driving.
This is going to be talked about all around the water coolers and the donut shops tomorrow.
Absolutely. Actually, couldn't that be considered a clear path foul?
This kid's making shots. Everything's going right for UMBC.
Yep.
UMBC is doing everything right, and Virginia is doing nothing.
Wow.
Actually, did they just call intentional foul? I think they just called intentional.
Yeah, it looks like they did.
Yeah. Well, first Isaiah Watkins has fouled out with 7 points, but I believe I just saw the signal or an indication of an intentional foul. So if that's the case, an intentional foul means 2 free throws and possession of the ball.
Oof.
Oh my goodness.
Insult to injury.
Right. See everything going wrong for Virginia here tonight. My goodness. I mean,
you could see that bench for Virginia. It's like they can't believe this is happening.
I think the realization is starting to set in for Virginia.
There's the miss. Virginia.
Way short
regular
on
season.
It, I think ACC at this point,
champions. Tournament champions.
What ACC champions?
Tournament. 2 more.
Oh.
2-minute warning. And there's a bucket for Virginia. Who would have thought this would have happened?
If you would ask me, before the tournament started, I would have said no freaking way. No way whatsoever.
Holy cow, are you kidding? The ramifications from this. Oh my goodness. I don't know what else there is to say. I mean,
Anthony Florio, I hope you have a moment for this, because this is yours. It is all yours. If once we get close to the end, I'm not saying a word. Mike Bullock, you might want to mute your mic. Let Florio have have a moment because he's about to have, I've had so many great moments in college basketball, from calling Villanova winning the national championship on a buzzer beater to Duke winning the titles to Kentucky getting upsetted. There's not many moments that I can say Anthony Floyo's about to have a moment in college basketball history that's gonna last Florio a lifetime. He's about to call the 16 over a 1.
And just a moment, guys. I mean, can you imagine what all the sports radio stations in Virginia are going to be like Monday morning?
My God.
Will you imagine the radio stations in Baltimore, Maryland on Monday morning?
Oh man, they are gonna
celebration time. I mean,
yeah, but those in Virginia, I mean, I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of Virginia Cavalier fans that are gonna call in pissed off.
Oh,
and I wouldn't be surprised if they went so far as to say they want the coach fired.
Well, this is inexcusable. I mean, it was 21-21 at the half. But in this second half, UMBC so far has outscored Virginia 46-29.
Wow.
46 unbelievable
to 29.
Oh
no. Oh, here comes the pain. Here comes the
a
pain.
20-point lead. You have got to be kidding me.
Oh. 72-52.
Fletch, I think we better get ready to mute our mics.
Yep.
1 minute.
Let's. You know what? Let's do it right now.
No. Hold on. It's unbelievable.
The lay-in. These fans are about to take home a memory that will last a lifetime. That's off the mark. The iron unkind for Virginia. UMBC, the rebound. And this will spell good night. Brackets everywhere busted. Sit back and watch history, my friends. Time Warner Arena, Charlotte, North Carolina. Remember where you were at 11:33 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on March 16, 2018. Clock runs out. Shot clock violation, but do you think they care? Absolutely not. In the immortal words of the Bob's Furniture commercials here in New England, people's brackets everywhere, including ours, busted. And Virginia's not even going to bother. The biggest upset in the history of sports has just taken place. UMBC is a giant killer. The University of Maryland, Baltimore County. Giant killers.
History has been made.
And this is a moment that will last forever. History has been made. It is official. For the first time in NCAA tournament history, men's tournament history, and the second time overall, first time in 20 years, a number 6, a day that we never thought would come, a number 16 seed has just beaten a 1. Not just anyone, the number 1 over.
And the look on the Virginia fans' faces pretty much says it all.
And look at this bracket. The South bracket is now turned upside down and inside out. Because look, the ultimate Cinderella is now moving to the next round. David has just slayed Goliath in a huge way tonight, gentlemen. We will never, ever forget this moment. It's tears and heartbreak and sorrow for Virginia, but absolute admiration, jubilation, and a lot of celebration. But these young gentlemen, they're gonna have to be composed. They're gonna have to be relaxed because they got another game in about 48 hours. They got to play another game against Kansas State. So, oh my goodness. Wow, what a night.
So that happened. I had to do it.
And this is what CBS Sports just posted it with this. Almost 99.4% had Virginia over UMBC. 95.1% had Virginia in the Sweet 16. Almost 65% had Virginia in the Elite 8. Almost 56% had Virginia in the Final Four. 41% had Virginia in the championship game. And 23% had Virginia winning it all.
Well,
and all that doesn't mean a damn thing now.
Oh no. It's all down in flames. It's gone. Goodbye. See ya.
Vamoose. And Fletch, what do you say on Facebook after a team loses in the tournament?
Get those Metro cards out and run along the L train.
And Fletch, I think it's going to be the biggest L train we have ever seen.
Oh my god! You know what? I got to give credit. I got to give a lot of props to my boy, Chisel Adonis on YouTube. He's the one that created it. He's the one that like the master of it. So I mean, yeah, this one takes the cake, man. I mean, wow. And this is ACC country. Charlotte, North Carolina is ACC country, and we just saw the biggest upset in college basketball history. A 16 just knocked off a 1. It's impossible to believe what we could think about right now. And do we really need to continue with the show? I feel like ending it right here. I do. I honestly.
I was going to say. I mean, forget the NHL
How can we
rankings.
Top this? How can we top this? This is the greatest moment in Strictly Sports history. This is even bigger than when the Bruins won the Eastern Conference Championship. I don't think we can top this. We got the biggest story in college basketball history right at our laps, and how lucky are we that we got to do this, that we got to cover this. Thank you, Derek Ferreira, for making the executive call and letting us do the game, saying, you know what, do the commentary for this moment. We just hit the mother lode, gentlemen. We just hit the gold mine.
In the immortal words of Mauro Ranallo, Mamma Mia.
and Matt Vasgersian, he would say, Santa Maria.
Yes, Santa Maria, Mamma Mia. And you know what, Dick Enberg, this is for you. Oh my.
I think you need a little bit more on that one, MF. Oh my, the biggest upset in the history.
Oh, could you imagine if Dick Enberg were still alive and he was calling this?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Well, I mean, they had Jim Nance do it. They had Nance do the moment. So I mean,
I'm glad they picked him.
You already have a legend in Charlotte, doing this moment. So I mean, you can't get any better than this. And then for us, this is Anthony Floyo's moment. Like I said, this was his moment, and I can't do it any better than what he just did. I mean, my God.
Man.
Boy, I can't wait to see what the guys in the studio had to say about it.
University of Maryland, Baltimore County. Remember this night for as long as you live.
Jim Nance basically said it. What is going on with Virginia?
What is going? Yeah, what happened to Virginia?
All those accomplishments they had in the regular season, what they did in the ACC tournament, it doesn't mean a damn thing now.
Mm-hmm.
They're failures.
It's almost like it never happened.
Yep.
They are failures.
I mean, people will say, "Hey, Virginia was the ACC tournament champs and regular season champs," and we'll all be like, "What?"
Don't mean a thing, boys.
It
Don't
does.
mean a thing.
I mean, let me just talk about, because I got a few comments, and this is from social media, so I'm gonna need to go over here. Sean Lambert, wow, Virginia is going down. Will be the first time a 16 knocked off a 1. Bye brackets. Let's go UMBC. Then I got one other. Jimmy. This is from Jimmy Alden himself. Virginia losing by 7 in the second half. A number 1 losing to a 16. Oh my, this could be trouble. Then I got Bridget Fennery. She said, "Holy bleep" on hers. Of course, you talked about Derek. Let me see if I can get any more reaction.
I have
this tournament is now wide open.
I'm trying to look through.
Well, I have Derek's post. Derek just posted. We finally get.
Guys, before you read it off, you want to hear something? You hear that sound?
I think you just tore up your bracket, right?
I crumbled it.
Yeah, he crumpled it all right.
I crumbled it, and it is going in the garbage.
Well, I don't have a printout, so thankfully. Derek Ferreira, we finally get to see a 16th seed beat a number 1 seed. UMBC has done the unthinkable by beating the best college basketball team in the nation in Virginia. Yeah, so I talked with my good friend Dan Kamanapali, and he said Kansas State better be ready. Wow, history just made. And then I responded to his comment by simply saying "Mamma Mia," and he said might be the biggest upset in the history of sports. And I said might be? It is. I think it is. And Dan saying number 1 seed in AP number 1. Wow. So let's break it down here. 74-54. UMBC shocks the world, shocks the nation, and busted the brackets for everyone. Jairus Lyles led the way for UMBC, 28 points. He had 4 rebounds and 3 assists. Arkel Lamar, 12 points, 10 rebounds. Joe Sherburne, 14 points, 6 rebounds. KJ Mara with 10. UMBC shot 54.2% from the field. 50% from 3, guys. 50%. 50. 12 of 24. And 71.4% from the line. Virginia, 41.1% from the field. But here's the discrepancy, gentlemen. I said 50% three-point shooting for UMBC. Virginia, 18.2. There's your ball game right there. 50% from the line for Virginia. The rebounding edge went to UMBC, 31-21. 16-5, the assist margin for UMBC. Virginia only committed 7 turnovers. UMBC committed 10. Virginia had 8 steals, only 2 for UMBC. UMBC did not have any blocks. Virginia had 1 block. Virginia committed 16 fouls. UMBC only 12. But man alive, the big difference, the three-point shooting, 50% for UMBC, 18.2 for Virginia, and that's it. So the biggest upset in the history, not only of this sport, but I am now going on the record, and I am now considering this the biggest upset in the history of sports, college or pro. Put me on the record for that.
I'm gonna go right there with you, Anthony, and I'm gonna jump in that rabbit hole with you. I agree.
Same here.
This is the biggest stunner, the biggest shocker in any professional sport, in any sport, period. I like said, the ultimate David slaying Goliath. There's really nothing more to say about it. Virginia is an ACC powerhouse. They are recognized as one of the top teams in the ACC. They've won the ACC tournament this year. There's so much lineage, so much tradition over here, and yeah, I mean the bracket is a dumpster fire tonight. How many dumpster fires are there in the country right now with NCAA brackets? The shredders are probably getting their workout right about now. Wow, 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 wow,
Derek,
wow, wow.
Derek Ferreira at it again. Listen to this from ESPN here. Previously, before tonight, number 1 seeds were 135-0 against number 16 seeds. 5 1/16 games have been decided by 5 points or less in the history of the NCAA tournament. Of the 17.3 million tournament challenge brackets, only 579,666, 3.35%, believe it or not, actually picked UMBC to beat Virginia. So for those 3.35% of you,
well done.
Let's throw it up for them.
Yeah, but here's the fact. But here's the problem. How many of them are still safe with all their other picks? Because props to you guys, to the 579,000 of you guys for picking UMBC to knock off Virginia. I mean, props to you guys. Congratulations if you guys did that. You guys got more guts, more stones, and more heart than the three of us has, and probably Ferreira too. So from the entire Strictly Sports family, well done.
I have no clue how we move on, but we'll try our best.
I think we still got a few games still out there, and then on top of that, we still got three outstanding games out, so we got to deal with that. Then on top of that, we got all the games tomorrow, and we got the games on Sunday we got to cover. So we still got some work to do.
Yeah, we do.
I probably say ixnay on the power rankings, especially after what we just witnessed tonight.
Well, let's see what we have here. Number 9 seed Florida State with a beatdown of number 8 Missouri right now, 42-20 at the half there. Clemson with a 60-43 large lead over New Mexico State, 11:36 to go in the second. And the only close game we have right now is a number 11 Syracuse and number 6 TCU, 5:22 to go in the second, 46-43 Syracuse. So there's a chance we might end up getting some commentary in on that. So we'll keep an eye on that as far as that's concerned. But man alive, I mean, wow. And they are at the podium right now. UMBC, unbelievable. The Retrievers of the University of Maryland, Baltimore County, has just made history all over the world. I mean, this is the Giants beating the Patriots in Super Bowl 42. This is Appalachian State beating Michigan, opening day of the 2007 college football season. I mean, this is bigger than Villanova and Georgetown in 85. Bigger than when the Harvard women upset the Stanford women in 98, the only other 16-1 that's ever happened. So take all the other big upsets in the history of sports, pile them all, bury them all 6 feet under, because unless we see something even bigger than this this is the biggest upset in the history of sports, college or pro, right here. No doubt. So, hats off. Mile high salute. You want to talk about a soldier up performance? This was soldiering up at its absolute finest. UMBC, you were soldiers tonight. Congrats, UMBC. Enjoy the moment and beat K-State. Those are some other comments coming in. I follow this NCAA March Madness thing on Facebook, and they are at the podium right now, UMBC. I mean, and you know what, guys? I'm going to go on the record. I think UMBC will beat Kansas State on Sunday. I'm going on the record right now. I think they're going to do it. Another user saying that was awesome. Don't care if it busted my bracket. I'm with them. I don't care if it busted.
I'm checking on Facebook, and there's a lot of people like saying, "Wow, throw my bracket out."
Actually, and I got the front page, and this is from the Baltimore Sun, and it says it straight up: never been done. Number 16 seed UMBC toppled number 1 Virginia in historic NCAA tournament upset 74-54. And this is actually from Brandon Marks. He actually is one of the writers in he's actually in a he's one of the writers for the Baltimore Sun, and that's his headline: never been done.
I mean, congrats, UMBC just made history. Another comment had come in. What a huge win for mid-major basketball. A win for the ages. I mean, mid-major. This is America East. The America East Conference has just their tournament representative. Great team ball. Thanks for showing us what good basketball looks like. Go Retrievers. And you know what? They're going to be the sentimental favorites now. I think all of America is going to be rooting for this team going forward, even if they don't have them going all the way. But man alive, I mean, they are the darlings, not just of college basketball, but they are the darlings of the sports world here tonight. So that glass slipper can stop collecting dust. Awesome win. Oh yeah, no doubt about it. That glass slipper fits and then some. It's not just any fit. It's a perfect fit. That's all there is to say on this. I mean, in the immortal words of MF and Gorilla Monsoon, history has been made in Charlotte, North Carolina. I love this comment. UMBC equals you must be Cinderella. I love it.
Yes. And you know what? I'm going to say it. The darlings of the tournament, and they're going to be for, I mean, yeah. I mean, there it is. Actually, the NCAA just said it. It is over. They said eliminated perfect brackets. The NCAA March Madness app just confirmed that was the kill shot. There are no more perfect brackets in there. There was about, like I said, there was over 10.5 million people that did a bracket, and now all their brackets have been busted. 10.5 million. You have failed the bracket. So, wow. And actually, one other thing that we can talk about, and this is actually an embarrassing moment for they just announced this just a second ago, that for Virginia, the 54 points is actually the second lowest point total by a number 1 seed ever in NCAA tournament history. The other was actually Georgetown when they scored only 50 points against Princeton when they won 50-49.
They don't call it March Madness for nothing. Amazing game, UMBC. Enjoy it all. You deserve it.
Yep.
Great game. Cinderella. I mean, they are at the podium right now. Man alive, if we didn't have all the copyright restrictions, we would have taken you out to that right now, so you can hear from these young men and their coach. I mean, this is the most historic moment we've ever had in the now 6-year history of this show. We started this show over 6 years ago, hoping for a moment that we could never forget. We finally got it here tonight. Congrats. Thank you for making March Madness more magical than it already is. Amen to that comment right there. And a young lady commented, I'm going to buy a Retrievers jersey. Yeah, go get one.
Yeah. How many people are now flocking, probably heading to that university right now? Oh my God, the party at the student campus right now of UMBC right now. Somebody might want to get a camera down there right about now.
Yeah, we gotta try to find it out. Never thought I would see it happen. Congrats. Yeah, we just witnessed history. Absolutely.
And not only that, but now we might be on the verge of yet another upset, because we have a TCU on the ropes right about now, and they're trailing 54-49 with 30 seconds left in the game. So we might have a second upset of the evening, but this, I mean, for TCU to lose to Syracuse, that's like, okay, out of the upset meter, this is probably what, maybe a 3 or a 4, where right now everybody's talking about the UMBC knocking off Virginia. That's already at like an 11 or a 12 right about now.
I think it's a lot higher than that, MF. It's a lot.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah. I'm just trying to say, though.
My gosh, I mean,
what a night!
Whoever thought this was gonna happen? This is something that we're gonna be talking about for many years to come. I mean, we've been looking for that moment that would transcend the sport. And UMBC has not only transcended the sport, they have also captured the imaginations of the nation here tonight. That's exactly what they have done. I mean, every single one of us in this country and around the world, I think we are all going to be rooting for the University of Maryland, Baltimore County Retrievers. Kansas State is next on Sunday. And here's another comment that just came in, and I couldn't agree with this more. Biggest win in sports history is how this one is being described on the networks. Year two. Right here on YouTube as well. Right here on this edition of Strictly Sports Tonight. That's how we're considering it. I just went on the record. MF agreed with me. Bullock agreed with me. I'm sure Derek probably agrees with us. Oh, I like this comment. I love this one. I think this is the best one yet. This game deserves the One Shining Moment song all by itself. Amen.
I agree with that.
Oh, I definitely agree with it as well.
I agree with that.
One shining moment? You're damn right it is. That's all there is to say on that. Young lady, comment of the night. I don't think any other comment's going to top that.
Nope. And the thing is, it is worthy of the one shining moment because it's the true personification of one shining moment. It is, we've been blessed and honored to hear it every time at the end of the NCAA tournament, but without a doubt, this song is worthy enough of it. And well, we had one upset of the night. It looks like we're about to get a second one. It looks like we're about to get a second upset. TCU is about to fall to Syracuse.
Yes. Just trying to pull it up here. And that game is on what? True TV, I believe.
It's on CBS.
Oh, CBS. Oh, the mothership has it.
Yep, it's CBS. 55-50, 3.8 seconds left in the game. It's over.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely.
Because if they hit these two free
Caesars
throws
Arena in Detroit, Michigan.
Yeah, if they hit these two free throws, this turns into a 3-possession game.
Syracuse just hit the first free throw at the line.
Yep.
Pass. Yep, there it is. And that will put the ball on this one. Puts it up. That bucket will count, but it will not be enough. The Syracuse Orange have just defeated the TCU Horned Frogs 57-52. Syracuse will advance into the next round as they have knocked off TCU 57-52. And Jim Boeheim, the living legend, who has been there for well over 40 years.
Yep.
He adds to his legacy.
Won a national championship with Carmelo Anthony. My goodness.
Think about this. Syracuse now advances to play Michigan State. Think about this, guys. Two of the greatest coaches in history, Jim Boeheim and Tom Izzo, going at it. Whoa.
Wow. Yeah. There's some good storylines for the second round. There's a lot of great storylines for the next round. I can guarantee you that much.
Syracuse will now face Michigan State, and the winner of that will get the winner of URI and Duke. Think about it, MF. Could we get that Michigan State Duke game that you wanted?
Mm-hmm.
If that goes down,
or could we have an all ACC showdown between Syracuse and Duke? You never know. Or could it be URI versus Michigan State or URI versus Syracuse?
That would be something.
Well, we'll see. Something. It's going to be fun tomorrow.
Oh, of course. Of course. So, okay. Let's see. So, we have two games left in progress. Clemson leading New Mexico State 66-55, 7:01 to go in that one. And just underway in the second half, Florida State, Missouri actually making a bit of a run here. 43-30, the lead for Florida State on Missouri. So those are the two games left remaining. We've already ran down all the other scores, including the story of the night with UMBC being the proverbial giant killer, 74-54 over Virginia. Syracuse just knocking off TCU. Okay, now let's get into the games that will go down tomorrow. It'll all kick off at 12:10 Eastern. The first two games out of the box, it's all UMF. It's all MF. Number 9 seed Alabama will score off against number 1 seed Villanova, 12:10. And then in the second game, 2:40, number 7 URI against number 2 Duke, the dream matchup right there. 5:15, we have number 13 Buffalo against number 5 Kentucky. 6:10, we have a number 11 Loyola Chicago against number 3 Tennessee. 7:10, we have number 8 Seton Hall against number 1 Kansas. 7:45, this will be a good one. Number 5 Ohio State against number 4 Gonzaga. 8:40, we got number 6 Florida against number 3 Texas Tech, and then closing it out at 9:40, number 6 Houston against number 3 Michigan. So, MF, I'm going to bring you in. Well, of course, I want to get your thoughts on the 2 games you're going to have: Alabama, Villanova, URI, Duke. I mean, what are your expectations of those 2 games you're going to have tomorrow?
Well, I'm gonna say Alabama is really gonna be a tough. This is gonna be a tough, tall task because you're going up against Villanova, and Villanova absolutely dominated in the first game. They just need to figure out a way to handle that game. It's gonna be a good matchup. Can't wait to do that one. But the one that I think everybody's looking forward to is URI versus Duke. URI definitely had a very interesting lineup, and plus with Duke playing that, could they actually get and benefit from Duke's kind of strategy? Even though I think Duke is definitely more stronger, but they got 2 monsters, 2 big men offensively, so they're going to be a lot more dangerous offensively than anything else. Expect URI to have a pesky defense. They're going to be definitely trying to cause Duke a lot of problems throughout the game. But I just think Duke is just too strong, and if they start draining the threes like they did in the last game against Iona, I don't think URI stands a chance in this game. They're going to have to defend the perimeter. Duke has been known to live and die by the 3-point shot. If they start draining threes, but they also now have an inside game, Duke is really strong, and they're looking really good, so we'll see how they play out. I know a lot of people got Duke winning pretty handily over URI, but URI is definitely another David. They could definitely slay another Goliath. So if there's an upset to be made, it's possible we could get one in Duke and URI. I'm not calling for it, but this one could be an upset special. Well, I could leave it at that. So we got 2 monster upsets already today. I mean, we could have another one tomorrow. You never know.
Okay. There we go. All right. So, I wanted to get MF's thoughts on those games. So, all right. So, yeah, I agree. I mean, those first 2 games, those are the 2 games I'm actually looking forward to the most, if I'm going to be real honest with you. Alabama and Villanova. I mean, how is Colin Sexton gonna fare against Nova? I mean, that is going to be a fun one to watch right there. And then, but of course, the game I think we're all looking forward to the most is that URI Duke matchup. I mean, can URI pull what UMBC just pulled against Virginia tonight? I mean, can they have their one shining moment? This would be the biggest win in URI basketball history, even bigger than those Atlantic 10 championships that they've won. So we'll see about that. Kentucky against Buffalo. I mean, of course, Kentucky's the favorite, but don't sleep on Buffalo, especially after what they did to Arizona. Don't sleep on Buffalo. Loyola Chicago against Tennessee. That's going to be a good one, but I got a feeling about Tennessee. But then again, watch out for Loyola Chicago. Look what they did to the U. So we'll see. Another great matchup, Seton Hall against Kansas. Of course, Kansas is the favorite, but after what Seton Hall did against NC State, I wouldn't put anything past Seton Hall. Ohio State and Gonzaga. I mean, Matt Ward should be very concerned here because this could be a bracket buster for him because he's got Ohio State winning it all. I'm not so sure of that. Not against Gonzaga. So I have Gonzaga in that one. Florida and Texas Tech. I got to go with Texas Tech. And then Houston and Michigan. I like Michigan, but watch out for Houston. That's all I can say. They were so impressive in that American Conference tournament, coming up just short against Cincinnati in the final. But they took Cincy to the limit. But I just think Michigan, with the role they've been on, especially when they won the Big Ten. So those are my thoughts on the Saturday games. So Michael Bullock, come on in. Give me your thoughts on your brief thoughts about tomorrow's games, especially those first 2. I mean, those first 2 are going to be the games of the day as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, those first two, I'm definitely looking forward to. I mean, Villanova and Alabama. Villanova, I mean, looks good, but who knows? I mean, Alabama could give them fits, but the real one that I'm really looking forward to is obviously URI and Duke. I mean, can URI do the impossible against the Duke Blue Devils? I think it's going to be up to some of their guys. I mean, like EC Matthews to be able to have a really big game. If I'll tell you what, I mean, if they can play really well, they could somehow pull it off. I mean, we'll just have to wait and see. Yeah, Loyola Chicago. I mean, all I can say is Tennessee better not take them lightly because Miami took them lightly, and look what happened. They're going home. So, and another match I'm looking forward to. There's some other matchups I'm really looking forward to. I mean, Gonzaga and Ohio State. I mean, Gonzaga's got a chance to beat a major team in Ohio State, and Houston and Michigan to pretty much wrap up the Saturday portion of the second round. So those are just some of my highlights for the Saturday portion of the second round of the NCAA tournament. So Florio, I give it to you.
All right. We obviously don't have the times, but we'll go through the games that will go down on Sunday in no particular order. But of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't say the first game we should talk about right off the bat: UMBC against Kansas State. Oh my goodness! I mean, unbelievable. I mean, UMBC against Kansas State. I've already gone on the record. UMBC is winning that thing. I'm telling you. And then from there, we got number 7 Nevada against number 2 Cincinnati. Xavier looking like they're going to go up against Florida State unless Missouri pulls something off there. Texas A&M will go up against North Carolina. And then I have West Virginia against Marshall, Butler against Purdue, probably looking at Clemson against Auburn. And then we have Syracuse against Michigan State. So for me, when it comes to the Sunday games, I mean, UMBC, Kansas State obviously is going to be the game that we're all going to have our eyes fixated on. I mean, because UMBC is now America's sweetheart now after what they have just done. So we're obviously going to have a close eye on them. And then right behind it would have to be Syracuse and Michigan State because the living legends, 2 of the game's greatest, 2 championship winning coaches will go at it. Jim Boeheim and Tom Izzo. I mean, that's going to be hella fun right there. I'm looking forward to that one. That's my number 2 game right there. The other games don't really, excite me. Butler and Purdue could be a good one. I mean, Butler out of the Big East, Purdue out of the Big Ten. That could be an interesting matchup there. Can Marshall keep their Cinderella story alive as they go up against West Virginia? Very good possibility that could happen. And then whether it's Missouri or Florida State, I still think Xavier is the team to beat in that one. And A&M against Carolina. We were hoping it was going to be PC against Carolina, but it's going to be Carolina against A&M. I got to go Carolina in that one. So that's pretty much all I can see out of the Sunday games. We obviously don't have the times yet, but MF, looking at the Sunday slate of action, of course UMBC and Kansas State is automatically the game of the day because UMBC
because of what just happened. Absolutely. The ups of all upsets. I mean, nobody saw it coming. The whole world is still reeling right now, and UMBC is now the overnight darlings, and they're going to be going into this game as definitely a lot of people are going to be hoping that they continue their magical run. Like you said, they are now America's darlings. Nobody gave them a legit chance. Nobody really thought that they were going to do it. Yeah, there was the 500 and about 500,000 people just maybe going on him. Like what? Let's try to buck conventional wisdom and the feeling and the sentiment. But I mean, my God, did we ever think something like this was going to happen? I don't think so. It did. And now they're going up against K-State, who probably was thinking, oh, we're probably going to have to deal with Virginia in the next round, so we're going to have to work our way in the whole 9 yards. And now, no. Now, all of a sudden, they're going up against somebody different. Now they gotta prepare for UMBC for the next round of the tournament. I mean, what a day it's been, and yeah, without a doubt, that's the biggest shocker, and we'll wait and see what happens. So I got nothing more to say, Anthony. You absolutely hit the nail on the head with everything else. So yep. So Floyd, I give it to you, or I should toss it off to Michael Bullock, I should say.
Yeah, Bullock. Sunday games, UMBC obviously now that they're American sweethearts, but don't forget about that Syracuse-Michigan State game. I mean, Boeheim and Izzo, two legends right there.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, Syracuse-Michigan State, I mean, that's definitely going to be a fun game to watch. I mean, especially with the two legendary coaches in Jim Boeheim and Tom Izzo. So that's going to be one. But, of course, everybody's going to be talking about, I mean, the big matchup with the UMBC and Kansas State. And believe me when I say this, guys, Kansas State probably watched this game pretty hard, and they know they better not do what Virginia did and took them lightly. And look what happened with the number 1 overall seed. They're going home. So can't believe I'm saying this now, but I'm actually rooting for UMBC to be that ultimate Cinderella story. So, and before we move on, I have another thing I got to bring up, guys, when it comes to this upset. And it was about 2 months ago that UMBC, they lost to Albany. And you want to know the final score of that game was? That final score of that game, 83-39. I mean, Albany beat the crap out of them. I mean, I'm sure they're looking at Albany right now saying, how do you like us now after what we just did here tonight? So, I don't know. There's really just nothing more to say on all this. So, I'm just going to give it to you, Florio.
I mean, I honestly don't know what else there is to say. I mean, he wants us to do an NHL power rankings, so we may as well feed him. So, I mean, even though I know the NHL is the last thing on our minds right now, considering the magnitude of what has happened here tonight. I mean, but I think the best thing to do would probably be maybe a rapid fire NHL power rankings from us. I mean, that might be the only way to go about this. So, because honestly, I mean, how can you concentrate on anything else after what just happened here tonight? I mean,
I know. I haven't even thought about the rankings, honestly. I mean, it literally went into the back burner the minute the upset was imminent. Like when it started, I haven't even got my notes about the rankings, and
oh, guys, you're gonna get a crack out of this. I don't know if Virginia will, but some Twitter thing on it's called MLB memes, and listen to this. Virginia hasn't seen a choke this bad since every Nationals postseason.
Oof.
Oh man.
Too soon, guys.
What happened now?
I just read a tweet from this thing called MLB memes, Florio, and it said Virginia hasn't seen a choke this bad since every Nationals postseason.
Oh my goodness.
That's why I yelled out too soon.
Yeah, too soon is right.
Oh man.
Well, they're basically taking a shot at Virginia.
Well, obviously, I don't blame them.
And
You're now a footnote in one of the biggest stunning upsets in modern sports history. There's nothing more to say. Your
I
your
guarantee
legacy
this is not going to
now.
be the last of the memes tonight, or maybe the rest of the way.
No, I don't think so either.
I feel bad for Virginia right now because they're really going to get hammered badly.
Oh yeah.
And those sports talk radio stations in Virginia, they're going to be criticizing the coach, and I wouldn't be surprised if some actually call for the coach to be fired.
Well, I wish.
I don't know if I go that far, but after this,
well, I'm with you, Michael Bullock. When I'm gonna say this, that I wish it doesn't come down to that, but there are some people out there that are gonna be pretty rabid enough that they're gonna want some blood. That's all I'm gonna say. They're gonna want some blood. They're gonna want something to happen, because, like you said, we just witnessed one of the biggest stunners in all of college hoops, and I'm sorry, I'm with you. I hate to say it, but I have to agree. I think there's gotta have to be some kind of ramifications.
and if it means the coach getting fired, I hate to say that, but that's not on the coach. I mean,
I agree. I agree with that. You can't. This coach cannot be fired because he had a tremendous season. But I know a lot of people. There's so much egg in the face right now that I don't think that they're gonna think about that right about now. Right now, they're thinking, we just got humiliated. We just got embarrassed. We were the number one overall seed, and we just bowed out in the tournament, and it wasn't even close.
Yeah,
they got humiliated.
Yeah, and to put a bow on this, I mean, if the university decides to fire the coach, that's just basically them giving in to the fans and those that said, "Oh, we want this guy fired because he couldn't get the job done." That to me is wrong. You got to stick with the guy that got you to this point.
Well,
it's the players' fault that they couldn't get the job done.
Well, I was gonna say, and well, this is where this is tough, because this is I want to try to toe the line as carefully as I can, and you can't really toe the line on this. This is it's bad. I'm gonna say it's bad. It is really bad right about now. The bloodshed, and we haven't even hit mark yet. I mean, right now, it's one of the biggest stunners in NCAA history, and I don't know what's gonna happen, but I will say this: there is gonna be a major fallout for this, and what's that gonna be like? What is gonna happen now? I don't know, gentlemen. I do not know. All I know is that tonight we just witnessed one of the biggest in college basketball history, and not only that, in professional sport, in sports in general. I mean, you Anthony, you've said it all night, and there's really nothing more to say. It's just one of those moments where, you just have to soak it in, take it in, and just, it's a moment of, where you were when this moment happened, and
11:33 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, March 16th, 2018.
And it's shocking. It shocks me to the core, but it happened. And the thing is that, you know, we can talk a lot of stuff. We can say whatever we want to say. We can say, oh, well, this happened or that happened. No. Tonight, they earned this. Tonight, D is the darlings, and they're going to be talked about for years to come. They are now in, I'm going to openly admit it, they're going to be a footnote. They are going to be that story that people will be talking about forever and ever and ever, because what they have just done is not just stunning, not just an upset, but it talks and it speaks to us as broadcasters. I mean, what a time to be where we are today, to see this.
For such a time
to see this.
For such a time as this, MF.
Yeah. Amen.
Yeah, I mean, that's me and my church's new battle cry for such a time as this. I'm the one who kickstarted that thing, and I'm glad I did. But I'll tell you what. I'm going to do something unprecedented here tonight. MF and Bullock, you guys just relax. I'm going to take the power rankings for a spin. I actually, while you guys were, having, going on with your thoughts about the big story tonight, I actually took a moment and compiled the best NHL power rankings I could. So I'm going to take these for a spin. You guys don't have to do any lifting. I'm gonna take it from here. I'm sure you guys are gonna probably agree with me anyway. So if it's okay, I'm gonna take these power rankings for a spin here. So
all right.
What do you think, Fletch?
I agree with that. Because normally a lot of the times we do agree. We'll do a strictly sports power rankings, but instead of different opinions, I'm pretty sure I probably won't argue with yours. So you're the host. Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah, and plus it's tough for us to focus after this.
Yep. So I'm glad you guys took the time to give me the opening for that. So with that being said, I'm gonna take these rankings for a spin. MF and Bullock, just relax. I got this one. So we're going to start it off at number 10 with the Colorado Avalanche. Colorado Avalanche kick it off at number 10. They're 6-1-3 in their last 10 games. They did lose their last game. They're 38-25-8, 84 points. Currently sit fourth in that highly competitive Central Division. They are second in penalty kill percentage. They're seventh in goals scoring, 13th in the power play, 15th in the goals against. This is our first power rankings since the February 23rd show, nearly a month ago. So try not to waste, all right. They lost at Calgary, home wins over Vancouver and Calgary after that. And then, let's see, home win over Minnesota. And then they had a home loss to Nashville, road losses at Chicago and Columbus, home win over Arizona, road wins at Minnesota and St. Louis, and a home loss to Nashville. They lost at home to Nashville tonight. So they got Detroit coming in Sunday. They're at Chicago Tuesday, home to Los Angeles on Thursday, Vegas coming in next Saturday, and then they're at Vegas Monday the 26th. And then they host Philadelphia on March the 28th. And then they host Chicago on March the 30th, which I do believe should be our next NHL Power Rankings if we get back on schedule here. So, that snowstorm that nor'easter we had a few weeks ago really put it into perspective. So with that being said, number 10 is the Colorado Avalanche. Thumbs up, thumbs down, guys? Um, all right, Bullet. Oh, yeah, I thought I saw the mic off. All right. So number 10 is the Colorado Avalanche. Number 9, I have a tie at number 9. And believe it or not, this is my only tie at number 9. I've got the Winnipeg Jets and I've got the Los Angeles Kings, both coming in at number 9. Perfect here. Both teams are 6-3-1 in their last 10 games. 1-game winning streak for both. Winnipeg, one of the surprises of the NHL this year, 42, 19, and 10, 94 points, 10 points behind Nashville in the Central. Los Angeles, 39, 26, and 6, 84 points. They're third in the Pacific behind San Jose and Vegas. Even though Vegas, believe it or not, is not in my rankings, which is a shame because I'm rooting for that team, honestly. But I think in an effort to speed things up, I'm not going to go over their previous results. I'm just going to, focus on, who they've got coming in and whatnot. So I'm just going to focus on the schedule. Winnipeg, third in power play percentage. They're fourth in goals scoring and goals against and penalty kill, fourth apiece, and 13th in penalty minutes. They snapped a 3-game losing streak with a win over Chicago. I want you to keep an eye on a young man named Patrick Laine. Patrick Laine. This is a teenager, folks. He has scored a point. He's on a 14-game, I believe he's on a 14-game or something like that, 14-game point streak. Longest such by a teenager in history. And he scored 24 points in that span, 16 goals and 8 assists. I'm telling you, this is the rookie of the year right here. Not only the rookie of the year, but I think you can make a strong case for Hart Trophy as well. The numbers this kid's been putting up. And he's the reason why this team has been unbelievable this year. Who would have thought this team was going to amount to anything? I certainly didn't. I had them way off my radar. But now they've emerged as a dark horse for the Stanley Cup. I'm going to be honest with you. They're in the midst of they just started a 6-game homestand with Chicago coming in last night. They got Dallas coming in Sunday night, Los Angeles coming in Tuesday, Anaheim next Friday, Nashville on the 25th. That's a big one right there. Boston on the 27th. And then they go back out on the road against Chicago on the 29th, and that'll take us to the next rankings in 2 weeks. So the first number 9 is the Winnipeg Jets, and the other is going to be the Los Angeles Kings. The Los Angeles Kings, also 6-3-1 in the last 10. They've been turning on the burners at the right time. Second in goals against, second in penalty kill, 14th in scoring, 16th in power play, 23rd in minutes. They got to work on staying out of the box. They've been playing fairly well recently. Standout wins over Columbus and Washington recently. So weak. They would have been higher if they didn't lose at Arizona on Tuesday. That was a big one for me. But they rebounded with a nice, easy win over Detroit, which featured a national anthem. I know MF was very high on Pia Toscano doing the national anthem. I heard about that, MF. She killed it. She slayed it as always. I know how much you loved it. So, okay. New Jersey coming in tonight. That'll conjure up memories, obviously, of 2012 when the LA Kings won their first ever Stanley Cup by beating New Jersey. And then they go on a 4-game road trip. Not an easy one. At Minnesota, at Winnipeg. Minnesota is Monday, at Winnipeg Tuesday, at Colorado Thursday, and then at Edmonton next Saturday before they return home on the 26th to host the Calgary Flames. And then Arizona comes in on the 29th, and then on the 30th, they're at Anaheim. Always fun when they get together. So nothing more to say there. Number 9s, we got the Winnipeg Jets, and we got the Los Angeles Kings. Number 8, staying in the Pacific Division, I give you the San Jose Sharks. San Jose Sharks, 39, 23, and 9, 87 points, second in the Pacific behind Vegas. They're 6-3-1 in their last 10 games, but they've won 3 in a row. So that's why I had to give San Jose the benefit of the doubt. First, they lead the league in penalty kill. They're 8th in goals against, 9th in power play, 6th in penalty minutes. The only difference is they're 16th in goal scoring, so they got to work on that, even though they are playing very well right now. Let me see here. 3-game winning streak. Home win over Detroit on Monday, and then road wins at Edmonton and Calgary. They're at Vancouver tonight, Saturday. And then New Jersey comes in on Tuesday. Vegas comes in on Thursday. NBCSN, that's a nationally televised game, and rightfully so. Calgary coming in next Saturday, the 24th. They go to Chicago, and then they go on a long road trip at Chicago on the 26th, at St. Louis on the 27th, and then at Nashville on the 29th. And that'll take us up to the next rankings on the 30th. So, like what I've seen from San Jose, they've been playing very well as of late. So, I'll give them my number 8 spot. Number 7, here comes another darling of the league, guys. How about the Toronto Maple Leafs? I've really liked what I've seen from Toronto. 42, 22, and 7, 91 points. Third in the Atlantic Division behind Boston and Tampa. 6-2 and 2 in their last 10 games. They've won 3 in a row. And all this without their star player, Austin Matthews, which is very impressive. 4th in power play, 4th in penalty minutes, 5th in goal scoring, 9th in penalty kill, 14th in goals against. So that's pretty good. But I do believe Austin Matthews is on his way back to the lineup. And once they get him back, they're going to be unstoppable. 3-game winning streak. They beat the snot out of the Pittsburgh Penguins last Saturday. Oh, was that so fun for me to watch. I was so happy about that. Believe me, I was. Because you know how much I hate Pittsburgh. MF does too. And then a nice win over Dallas. Let me tell you something. I believe they are they're unbeaten in their last 11 at Air Canada Center. That just shows you if they get home ice advantage in a first round series, they just may have a shot at advancing. Easy road win at Buffalo. They took care of the Sabres. No problem there. On Thursday night. One of the great rivalries of all time. The Montreal Canadiens coming in tonight. You know how fun it is when Montreal and Toronto get together. That conjures up memories of the 40s, 50s, 60s. You get my drift. At Tampa on Tuesday. That's a big one. And then they got to go to Nashville after that. We're going to find out what this team's really made of. And then Detroit comes in next Saturday. And then Buffalo comes in Monday the 26th. Florida coming in on the 28th. And then they're at the Islanders at the Barclays in Brooklyn on the 30th. So, murderer's row schedule coming up for Toronto. But they should be getting Austin Matthews back fairly soon. And once they get Austin Matthews back, then they're going to be oof. But Van Riemsdyk's been playing well. Marlowe's been playing well. He's shown why he's been a great pickup from San Jose. No doubt about that. So, my number, let me see here, 7, it is the Toronto Maple Leafs. Number 6, this one's for you, Michael Bullock. Boston Bruins, number 6. 44, 17, and 8, 96 points. Second in the Atlantic behind Tampa. 4 points out of that. They're 7-3 in their last 10 games, but they did lose last night. I'll get to that in a minute. They're second in goals against. Tuukka Rask has been amazing. The backup needs some work, though. Khudobin, he needs some work. 6th in goal scoring, 7th in power play, 11th in penalty kill. They also got to work on staying out of the box. They're 24th in the penalty minutes. But they've been playing very well, though, so far in the month of March. Nice wins over Pittsburgh, Montreal, Detroit, Philly, Chicago. But then they lost at Chicago on Selection Sunday. A nice road, a come-from-behind effort against Carolina. They trailed 4-1, and then they scored 5 unanswered to win. But then they did get beat down by Florida last night in Florida. Not good. Big one tonight. They got the Tampa Bay Lightning in Tampa. That's a big one. Big. Power ranking and division implications on the line in that one. And then Columbus coming in on Monday. They've been red hot lately. At St. Louis on Wednesday night rivalry, Boston and St. Louis, conjuring up memories of 1970. Bobby Orr, you know that story. At Dallas on the 23rd, at Minnesota on the 25th, at Winnipeg on the 27th, back home on the 29th against Tampa Bay. Woohoo. So, no question about this. Number 6, it is the Boston Bruins. Number 5, another team that MF and I love to hate, the Washington Capitals. They're back. Caps are back. They're number 5, 41, 23, and 7, 89 points. They lead the Metropolitan Division by 2 over Pittsburgh. 7-3 in their last 10 games. They've won 4 in a row. 5th in the power play. They're 11th in goals scoring, 16th in goals against and penalty kill, 26th in minutes. So let's see what we have here. For Washington Capitals, 4 in a row. They won at San Jose last Saturday. Home win over Winnipeg on Monday. And then they had back-to-back easy wins over the New York Islanders, outscoring them by a count of 13-6. Sunday, they're at Philadelphia. Tuesday, they're home against Dallas. They're at Detroit on Thursday, NBCSN. At Montreal next Saturday. And they got a home and home against us, the Rangers, a home and home. Monday the 26th, they're at Madison Square Garden. And then Wednesday night rivalry on the 28th at Capital One Center. It's now the Capital One Center in D.C. And then the Carolina Hurricanes on the 30th. So Ovechkin and company playing their best hockey at the right time. Will this be the year they finally, get over that hump and finally win that elusive Stanley Cup? So I don't know. So we'll find out soon enough. So number 5 is the Washington Capitals. Number 4, Tampa Bay Lightning. 48-18-4, 100 points, best record in the Eastern Conference. They lead the Atlantic Division and the Eastern Conference. 8-1-1 in their last 10 games. They did lose. They lead the league in goals scoring. They're second in power play, 11th in goals against, 20th in penalty minutes, 26th in the penalty kill. They got to work on the PK if they're going to have any chance, even though they are the team to beat as far as I'm concerned. Before last night, they were on a major winning streak. They had won like 5 in a row. I mean, a road win in Dallas and then home wins over Philly, Florida, the Rangers, Montreal. Did the win streak carry over? No, they were on a 5-game winning streak before last night. Well, actually, it was Tuesday night when they lost at home to, of all teams, the disappointing Ottawa Senators. Yeah, Ottawa came in and put a beatdown on them, 7-4. Boston coming in tonight, huge game in that division. You know that story already. And then Edmonton coming in on Sunday. Toronto coming in on Tuesday. They're at the Islanders Thursday. At New Jersey next Saturday. Arizona coming in on the 26th. At Boston on the 29th. And then at Madison Square Garden against the Rangers on the 30th. That will coincide with our next rankings. So, to me, they're still the team to beat, but they do have some work to do. So, number 4, it is the Tampa Bay Lightning. Number 3, give it up for the Florida Panthers, guys. They're 8-1-1 in their last 10 games, but they won. 35-26-7, 77 points, 4th in the Atlantic. I do believe they hold one of the 2 wild card spots in the Eastern Conference. 14th in goal scoring, 15th in power and penalty kill, 19th in goals against and power play, but they rank dead last in penalty minutes. You got to stay out of the box, guys. You got to stay out of the box if you're going to have any chance. They have been playing very well. Nice win over the Boston Bruins on Thursday. Edmonton coming in tonight. And then a 3-game road trip at Montreal Monday, at Ottawa Tuesday, at Columbus Thursday, and then Arizona coming in on the 24th. And then they're at the Islanders in Brooklyn on the 26th, at Toronto on the 28th, and then at Ottawa on the 29th. And that'll take us up to the next rankings for them. So Florida Panthers coming in at number 3. Moving on to number 2, Columbus Blue Jackets. 8-2 in their last 10 games, winners of 6 in a row, 38-28-5, 81 points. They're tied with Philadelphia for 3rd in the Metropolitan Division. John Tortorella and company playing very well. They're 3rd in penalty minutes, very good. 10th in goals against, but these other areas they have to work on. 22nd in goal scoring, 24th in penalty kill, 29th in power play, and winners of 6 in a row. Road win at San Jose, and then home wins over Vegas, Colorado, Detroit, Montreal, and then a road win in Philadelphia. They're home against Ottawa tonight, and then they go to Boston on Monday. They go to Madison Square Garden against the Rangers Tuesday. Florida coming in on Thursday. St. Louis coming in next Saturday. At Edmonton on the 27th, and then at Calgary on the 29th. So, Torts, you got you guys playing very well, but you got some work to do. You got a tough schedule coming up, so let's see what you're made of. So number 2 for me, Columbus Blue Jackets. Number 1, I got to go with the Nashville Predators. I think the Nashville Predators are the cream of the crop for this week. 9-0-1 in their last 10 games, winners of 3 in a row, 47, 14, and 10, 104 points. As of right now, they have the inside track to the President's Trophy right now. You're reigning and defending undisputed Western Conference champions. And currently, they're my number 2. They're my second choice to win the Stanley Cup. I still think Tampa's the team to beat, but Nashville, man, I got to really think about Nashville now. Because remember, they came so close to winning it all last year. They really did. They pushed Pittsburgh to the limit. But Pittsburgh ultimately was too much, of course. They're number 1 in goals against. Pekka Rinne has been unstoppable. 7th in goals scoring, 7th in penalty kill, 8th in power play, 29th in penalty minutes. So let's look at what they've done. 9-0-1, like I said, their only loss was a tough luck 3-2 loss at home to the New Jersey Devils. I believe that was in a shootout. They've won 3 in a row since. A home win over Winnipeg on Tuesday, and then back-to-back road wins against Arizona and Colorado. They're at Buffalo on Monday. Toronto comes in on Thursday. At Minnesota next Saturday. At Winnipeg on the 25th. Home to Minnesota on the 27th. And then home to San Jose on the 29th. Very tough schedule indeed coming up for the Nashville Predators. So MF posted something on his Facebook about who do we think is going to be in the Stanley Cup final. My dream final would be, for me, the final that I personally want to see is Vegas and Boston, because those are the 2 teams that I'm rooting for right now, because I still have no faith in the Rangers whatsoever. But realistically, I think Tampa Bay and Nashville are on a collision course for the final. And if we get that, I think it could go down as one of the greatest Stanley Cup finals of all time when you look at the body of work of these 2 teams. Like I said, I think Tampa's still the team to beat. But Nashville, you've got my attention. I'm definitely thinking about you guys. I think this could be the year they could do it. So, no question about it. Number 1, it's the Nashville Predators. So, before we go, I just want to check and make sure that all of our tournament games for this evening have gone final. I do believe they have. Just bear with me for just a moment. Well, actually, we do have one game in progress. Florida State 66-49 on Missouri, 3.5 to go in that one. The Clemson game's a final. Clemson has defeated New Mexico State 79-68. The Florida State-Missouri game is the only one going, but I think that one's pretty much an open and shut case. So we're just going to park it here. We're going to end the show for this night. So we want to thank you all so very much for tuning into this very exciting and most historic edition of Strictly Sports to date. I mean, history made in so many ways. We just witnessed the biggest upset, in not just in NCAA tournament in college basketball history, but also the greatest upset in sports history, period. So with all that being said, gentlemen, we're going to get into our shout-outs here. Quick shout-outs here. So Bullock or MF, whoever wants it first. It's all yours, Bev.
I just want to say thank you to all the great fans for making the show as amazing as it is. You guys are the best fans in the world. I love you guys to death. To the super fans out there, you guys know who you guys are. To my friends in the junior high and high school days, I know a lot of them are probably ripping up their brackets right about now. It is a shocking night. Jimmy Alden, Sean Bay Lambert, Bay Lambert. I hope you're having fun in Arizona. I know you're on a trip. Wish you nothing but the best on that. And then, of course, as always, to the 2184 crew, I love you guys to death. You guys have been awesome. There's really nothing more to say, guys. I think we're all kind of in a state of shock. I think we're all kind of like, did this just really happen? I think we're still walking in a daze a little bit, but I hope you guys have a great night. Party on. March Madness. I mean, God bless this event. God bless college basketball. We love you. Good night. Hugs and hand pounds. I'm out. Mike Bullock, take it home, man. What a night.
Oh yeah, this is definitely one heck of a night here. A definite shout out to all of our fans who have made this show what it is, especially here on this Friday night. And of course, we also thank you for supporting our wrestling shows, what have you. Of course, shout out to all the super fans out there. You guys know who you are. To all of our friends from our high school days, you guys know who you are. All of our personalities from 6, 10, and 12. All the personalities from ESPN, Fox Sports, NFL Network, NHL Network, NBA TV, MLB Network, all the other networks out there. And of course, the State of Sorrel and Lindsay McCormick. And of course, our friends from The Road Show, the former co hosts Mary Larson and Megan Mooney. And the three current people, Will Gilbert, Brendan Kirby, and of course, Michaela Johnson. And I want to make this announcement to you guys regarding the road show. Monday morning, 9 a.m. Yours truly is going to be on the road show with Elwood Johnson as we talk about the big plunge weekend coming up next weekend. Both the Torch Run plunge and, of course, the one that he and I will be doing, the Super Plunge. So get the DVR set and definitely check it out. So yeah, so that's pretty much going to do it for me. So until Monday night for Ridiculously Raw, this is the Phenom Mike Bullock saying thank you all so very much for tuning in. Of course, you know the routine. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw it a Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, and enjoy your weekend and enjoy the second round action of the tournament. So, Florio, take us home.
Will do, Bullock. Very special night indeed. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in. A special shout out to all of our tremendous fans and viewers who continue to make our shows as over as they are. We very much appreciate it as always. You are the best fans in the world, hands down. The first lady of the wrestling forum, Dee Dee Woodson, along with Kevin Woodson and the Woodson family. Unfortunately, Dee Dee Woodson will not be joining us the next couple of weeks. Not sure what's going on there. I don't know if it's family commitments or work commitments or what's going on. But she said that she'll be back with us for the go home show for Monday Night Raw, Raw's go home show for WrestleMania on Monday night, April the 2nd, which is also the night of the national championship game, by the way, in San Antonio. So that's a double show right there. We'll be covering both Raw and the national championship game on that night. Hopefully, we'll have another historic moment like we had tonight. My goodness. But shout out to Dee Dee, Kevin, and the Woodson family. Matt Ward, who, for all intents and purposes, is going to most likely win this bracket manager this year because he didn't have Virginia winning it all. He had Ohio State, so that might have worked out for him. So he's probably going to have a catbird seat now that all our brackets got busted in the ultimate way. Matt Ward, shout out to you. Jason Nixonbaugh, Daniel Chubb in the UK. Our other first ladies, Kaiser Butler, Megan Silva, and Lexi Calloway. The other crew members, Tommy Souza, Eric Carrier, Jimmy Alden, Albert Edison, Rob Parsons, and of course the man himself, Derek Ferreira. Great call tonight by having us go for that big moment tonight. You wanted that historic moment, brother? You got it, man. We got it here tonight. So we'll remember this one for years to come, no doubt. So let's see. All of our personalities from 6, 10, and 12, ESPN, FS1, NHL Network, MLB Network, NFL Network, NBA TV, whole 9 yards. State of Sorrel. I know she's probably bumming about Arkansas losing. Lindsay McCormick, who's probably letting out a big old sigh of relief for Auburn as they escape Charleston tonight. Chantel McKay from the Golf Channel, and of course, our friends from the Road Show, Will Gilbert, Brendan Kirby, and Michaela Johnson, along with the former co-host Megan Mooney, who's the traffic reporter at Channel 10, and Mary Larson. And of course, last but not least, my wonderful friends and church family over at Oasis of Grace Ministries on 464 Silver Spring Street in Providence. If you need a church home, check them out. Exit 25 off Route 95. Sunday morning at 9, Bible study. 10 a.m., a little after service. Wednesday at 7, Bible study. And a very special shout out I want to make to a very dear and special friend of mine. Probably maybe my most dearest and special friend on the female side. My dear friend Jacqueline, who's going to be leaving sometime today to go on a very special mission trip to Italy. I want to wish her all the very best on behalf of all of us here. We want to wish her the very best. And we're going to be thinking of you while you're gone for these next 10 days or so. So do what you got to do. Spread the love of our Lord and Savior, and the whole 9 yards. So special shout out to her. Wish her all the best with that. And we hope she gets there safe and sound and comes back safe and sound. That's all there is to say on that. So, all right. Monday, Ridiculously Raw. We're going to talk about we're going to review Monday Night Raw as we continue on the road to WrestleMania in Dallas. Will Brock Lesnar be there? We'll find out. Hopefully he will be. And then from there, my reviews of my Tony's take on 205 Live and Impact Wrestling. Tuesday, we got Cerebral Smack Talk with MF. Back to normal. We'll get into the SmackDown Live as they continue the road to WrestleMania. And of course, on Mikey's Mindset, I know MF had some ROH stuff we wanted to get into on the last show, but we couldn't because we had the Fastlane and SmackDown Live. And then next Friday night, Strictly Sports. More tournament coverage, obviously. Probably NBA Power Rankings. I'm not sure what else will be on the docket. Derek will probably have that out on Monday or so. So that's it. So until Monday night for Ridiculously Raw, it's Anthony Floyo here. For good old MF Michael Fletcher. For Michael Bullock. And in spirit, Didi Woodson and Derek Ferreira. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw it up Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed weekend. Enjoy all the action. And remember where you were tonight for the most historic Strictly Sports of all time. So until Monday night for Ridiculously Raw, you've been watching this most special and historic edition of Strictly Sports of all time right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube.com. For everybody who's been a part of this historic show, for now, Anthony Florio. So long.